All right, hey guys, we're going to be talking today about graphing linear inequalities. What I'm going to need you to do is go to your Google Classroom, and I need you to open up the document that says Notes 5.6, Graphing Linear Inequalities. It's going to be a worksheet that's basically our note worksheet. So go ahead and make sure that you pause the video and make sure you get your screen so that part of it is the video and the other part of your screen is your note worksheet, so you can fill it in as we go. Okay, go and pause the video and take care of that. Let me get my mug off of here. And today, my young grasshoppers, we are going to begin talking about how to graph a linear inequality. Now, linear inequality, it's going to be on a Cartesian plane, the XY axis, that whole deal. And one of the first things that we need to do is we need to make sure that our equation is in slope-intercept form. I will tell you the majority of these are going to be in slope-intercept form, okay, in y equals mx plus b. I will show you some examples where you do have to solve it first before you do that. Okay, once we get it in slope-intercept form, just like we've done before, we are going to plot the y-intercept, plot the slope. Reminder, the m is our slope, the b is our y-intercept. It's where it crosses the y-axis. Okay? Now, that's the stuff that's familiar. From here, you need to pay attention to your inequality sign. Okay? So, we have it in slope-intercept form. There are two different types of lines. There's a dashed, or sometimes I'll call it a dotted line, and there is a solid line. It is very similar to the whole open circle, closed circle deal that we have used in the past. Okay, so that whole open circle, closed circle, if it's not an equal to, okay, it's just regular less than or greater than, we're going to use a dashed or what we can call a dotted line, okay, like this. And what that signifies is those data points are part of the border, but they're not any of the solutions. If it's an or equal to, we just make a normal solid line. Okay, so that's the first part. The next part is we need the shade. Okay, and we're going to shade the region where all of our data points that are solutions are located. Okay, so if it has a y is greater than or a y is greater than or equal to, we are going to shade up. Okay, from our line, we're going to go up and we're going to shade. If it has a y is less than or equal to, we're going to shade down. And I'll show you how that works. Now, we're going to focus on here at first is we're going to focus on steps 3 and 4. Okay, so I'm going to give you a set of problems. Okay, just number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't need a lot of space on your note sheet. Okay, just number it quickly like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put up 5 problems. I don't want you graphing yet. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page with this part. Okay, use the notes and decide, do I need a dashed line or a solid line first? And then based on that, do I need to shade up or do I need to shade down? Okay, so here are the 5 problems. Woo! Right there. Okay, and you're just going to do that. Dotted or solid, shade up or shade down. Okay, these are the 5 problems. They are already in slope-intercept form, so there's no solving that is necessary. Go ahead and pause the video and give yourself time to take a guess at these answers. Okay, number 1. Now we're not worried about plotting the y-intercept, the slope. I just want to make sure that this part we are all understanding. So this part, it has the or equal to line, so that one's going to be a solid line. It says y is greater than, so I'm going to shade up. Okay. For number 2, that one also has a solid line. Okay, so because it has the or equal to line, so it's solid. But this one says y is less than or equal to. Well, less than, I'm going to shade down. Okay, number 3, it's missing the or equal to part, so this is a dotted line. Y is less than, so I shade down. Okay, number 4, missing or equal to, so that's a dotted line. And it's y is greater than, so I would shade up. The last one I put on there just to mess with you, that is an equal sign. That is not an inequality. All you do is just draw your solid line. There's no shading that you do for that one. Okay, so let's look at 4 inequalities that we're going to graph. Okay, you're going to put these on your graph. So go ahead and write this one down above one of your graphs. Y is greater than 2x minus 1. So the first thing, you want to make sure it's in slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form is this. So I'm basically looking, does it say y like equals? Now, remember, it's an inequality, so you're not going to see equals. Okay? But is the y by itself? And I look here, and yes, that happens. Okay? So let's go ahead. The y-intercept is -1. So down 1, I plot my point. My slope here is 2. Now remember, because we're going to walk the slope, it's 2 over 1. And we start here on a y-intercept. So up 2, right 1. Now, what's important when we are doing these is you need to make extra points. Okay? Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to use your graph in order to help you determine where solutions are. So I'm going to keep doing that. Up 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1. And I'm going to reverse that. Down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. Okay? Now, I focus on this inequality sign. It's missing the or equal to, so I know I need a dotted line. So when I connect this, I'm using a dotted line. Make sure that we make it dotted. Okay, so all of these data points that are on here are not solutions. Okay, and then I need the shade. This is y is greater than, so I'm going to shade up. Now, if you're ever confused about what side is the upside, start somewhere on your line. So starting right here, just going to draw an arrow up. Okay, so this is the side that I shade. And all of these data points that are in here are solutions. So like for instance, this point right here, that is -1, +2. That's a solution, okay, for this inequality. On the other side, if you have this point right here, this point is 4 of 1, that is not a solution because it's not in the shaded area, okay? Let's look at our second example here. Let's look at this one. So again, this one already has the y by itself, so I'm ready to start graphing, okay? Y-intercept is 2, so up 2, I put my point. My slope here is -5. Well, remember that's -5 over 1. So down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 1. And I'm unable to make extra points because it goes off my graph. Now for this one now, I'm going to pay attention to this sign. It's got the or equal to sign, so I'm using a solid line. Let me see if I can connect this. Okay. So there's my solid line. Okay. And then this is less than, so I'm going to shade down. Okay. Again, find a point on your graph. So right here, I'm just going to draw an arrow down. So where this arrow is where I shade. So I'm shading down, so all of this would be below my graph. And that's where these solutions are. Okay. Let's look at number 3. Okay, for number 3, starting the same way. This one, the y is already by itself again, so that part's done. I don't need to solve anything. Okay, I can get my y-intercept and my slope. So the y-intercept is -4. down here. And my slope is 3/2. Up 3, right 2 from this point. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And I'm going to make extra points. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. Now don't connect your line. That's a mistake I sometimes would make, and then you have to go back and erase. Don't connect your line yet. Pay attention here. Okay. This has the or equal to line, so this is a solid line. Okay. That is y is greater than. I'm going to be shading up. So solid line. And then I need to shade up. Okay, so I'm going to find anywhere on my line, and I'm just going to draw an arrow up. So my arrow up is on this side, so all of this part of the line gets colored in. Okay, and all of those data points, x comma y, that are in the shaded area are solutions. Okay, now the last example here we have is one where it's not already in slope intercept form. Again, I said we're not going to have a ton of these, but we are going to have a few. So the first thing I need to do is I need to put this into slope intercept form. So remember, slope intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So I have to move this x. It's a 1x. So I'm going to go minus 1x on both sides. That's 0. Drop it like it's hot. That's a negative 1y. Negative 1x, positive 2. From here, finish him. I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. Well, guys, I just divided everything by negative. I have to remember to flip my inequality sign. So this becomes y is less than 1x minus 2. Okay, so there's my slope intercept form. And I need to ignore this starting problem from now on. I don't refer to it anymore. I just refer to my slope intercept form. Okay, my y-intercept is negative 2. Down 2, I make my point. My slope is positive 1. It's 1/1. That means going up 1, right 1. So up 1, right 1. And I'm going to go the other way, down 1, left 1. Okay? Now, I'm looking here in order to make determinations on my dotted solid and my shading. Let me highlight it here. There we go. Right there. Okay? So there's no or equal to, so I'm using a dotted line. And that is a less than symbol, so I'm shading down. And it's imperative that you look here when you're done solving, because if you look above that, that would have been a different shading. And you need to make sure that you're looking in the right spot. So that's my shading. So a dotted line. There. And it says shaded down, so I'm going down. And all of this gets shaded in. Okay. So those are the types of problems that we're going to be seeing. What you're going to have next is you're going to be doing an exit ticket on Alex. Make sure you log into Alex. You'll see it as one of your assignments. If you have not been on Alex before, it's going to bring you to an initial knowledge check. Click I don't know through the entire initial knowledge check. That way you can do the homework. Okay, you need to do this exit ticket. It's 4 problems. That's all you have, 4 problems. If you do not have your login information or you forgot it, email me. I will send that information to you. Okay, so go ahead and get that done, and then we will see you next class period. Adios.